Tinubu's re-election in 2027, impossible, despite APC endorsements. Okay, let me read part of maybe 2 or 3 paragraphs. Former Kaduna State Governor Nasir El-Rufai has declared that it will be impossible for President Bola Tinubu to secure re-election in the 2027 presidential election, citing the nation's worsening economic and political situation. El-Rufai's remarks come just days after a show of confidence by the All Progressive Congress leadership, including endorsements from the National Assembly and APC governors. Senate President Godswill Akpabio had affirmed Tinubu as the party's sole candidate for 2027 during a recent summit in Abuja. However, speaking in an interview aired on Social Democratic Party National Updates, El-Rufai dismissed those endorsements as detached from the public sentiment, stressing that support for the president is collapsing nationwide. Anybody, quote, anybody that thinks it is possible for President Bola Tinubu to get re-elected is living in another country, not Nigeria. It is impossible for Bola Tinubu to get re-elected. I don't see a pathway for him, no matter how disorganized the opposition is. Who will vote for him? But that's not my own opinion. End of quote. Barrister, this is El-Rufai, for God's sake. This is someone who is part of the system, part of the establishment. This man knows how the establishment works. This man knows that the establishment does not work. They don't care about votes or voters. They don't care about, they are not concerned. They don't care about who votes and who do not vote. This man is part of the establishment who knows how to rig. They know rigging is just in their DNA. He knows the nitty-gritty of what they do. Yet, he's speaking this way as someone who has not been in the system, who is an outsider, someone who does not know the dirty tricks that the establishment plays during election. Why is El-Rufai? Is he hallucinating? For God's sake, are you telling me that El-Rufai sincerely is expecting a free, credible, and fair election? Are you telling me that El-Rufai does not know how the system has forgotten? Probably is now suffering from dementia. Hence, has forgotten how corrupt the system is. What the hell is El-Rufai talking about, Barrister? Why is he this serious about this election, whatever? He seems to be very confident that Tinubu will not. Of course, Tinubu will not be elected. He cannot be elected. He's not popular in Nigeria, with Nigerians in general. There's no doubt about that. But that's not the argument. The bone of contention here is that we will never, what we call election has never been election. Especially the worst of it was the 2023 election. And we don't expect anything better. Barrister, what is El-Rufai talking about here? Is he all right?
Well, sometimes people should understand the kind of person that El-Rufai is. He, in his own way, he's very clever, but sometimes he overdoes things or overdo himself. This is a person who boasted that Peter Obi will not get 25 votes in Kaduna. He boasted on television, 25, not 2,500. He even went ahead to say that if Peter Obi get up to 25 votes, he says he will do something. He said that on public television. This is a person who, when he criticized Jonathan's government, he made a lot of lies. So later when they were interviewing him, that all these things you said against Jonathan were lies. He said, yes, what do they expect? He was in opposition. So what did they expect him to say? You have to tell lies against the government in order to remove them from power. So when people want to analyze him, they should understand the kind of person they are talking about. Now he is in a quandary. he went ahead of the coalition, ahead of the opposition to enter the SDP. The coalition have decided not to go to SDP. They have decided to go to AGC. They are leaving him behind. I have spoken to somebody who attended the coalition. They said they have problem with him because nobody is comfortable with him in the coalition. They know his lack of character, lack of integrity.
It's a snake. That's just it.
Exactly. So they want to limit him in that coalition. They want to limit him to the northwest. Even that, it is with apprehension that they want to limit him, but they are going to have people that will be checkmating him because they don't trust him. He has no integrity, but you also cannot just send him away from there. So everybody knows who he is, but it is testament to a great character that you can deal with everybody. Once you know the level you have assistants, for instance, you know how you situate them. You know the level of trust and responsibility to give to each of them because you know their performance. You know the level of their honesty and integrity. So that is how people are viewing it. When he came out initially, he wanted to lead the coalition. He wanted to lead the opposition. But now, he has fallen deep down. So all this type of things is to build self-confidence for himself. All this kind of statement. It's not as if he doesn't know what is on the ground. We are going, maybe you hear of the a kind of master stroke that Tinubu is planning. And it will come to the opposition as a complete surprise. But they should have expected it. Because I keep saying that Tinubu is a master of the way politics is done in Nigeria. All these issues that El-Rufai was talking about, economic difficulties, this does not constitute the issues for voting. When it comes to voting, when El-Rufai was coming for second term, he was so unpopular that even the Muslim in Kaduna, the refrain was that he is not coming back. It was near unanimous, about 90%, if you can tally.
Yes.
He saw that there's no way that he could come back. So he played the religious card. He went to the Malams and said, okay, look at Plateau, look at Benue, look at, they don't choose, we have good Muslim population, but they never choose Muslim there. So we are going to also, our deputy, from now on, we are going to have Muslim in Kaduna State. We will not choose any Christian again. So you know how the religious sensitivity is. They bought into it, and that became the campaign issue in Kaduna. That is what won him the second term. It became an issue. They started saying, well, El-Rufai is not good, but this is between Christians and Muslims. So let's support our own. That was the card he played. So we know where he is. We know the desperation, the level he can go to achieve what he wants. But in this particular issue, he is far back. He doesn't have much or many cards.
But let me ask. Let me spread it to others, because what I just said about El-Rufai is equally. So El-Rufai, in his own case, he has been part of the establishment. So I think his own situation is worse than others. But let's spread it to Peter Obi, Matiku, and other opposition leaders. Tell me, everybody, at least none of us have dementia. None of them have dementia. They still remember 2023, what happened there. The person who perpetrated the rape on us, this violence on us, is still there. The Mahmoud Yakub. I don't understand the entire system. The Babala Tinubu that actually sponsored the violence against us is still there. Is the current president, for God's sake. I don't know what on earth will actually make opposition leaders to take the next election, 2027 election, seriously. Based on at least going by their antecedents especially Tinubu's antecedents. The system have not changed. The people have not changed. The people who perpetrated that such heinous acts against us to impose Tinubu on us are still there. The institutions are still as they were. I don't know why are people. Honestly, in my own opinion, what I would have expected the opposition to do was to actually stand on which they may not get it, but honestly, for everyone to stay out of the coming election until INEC is completely reformed, people who did this nonsense is taken out of the system, and the right people are installed. But what we have, we are still going in. We have chosen to forget what happened in 2023 election, and probably we've chosen to be under dementia. Hence, we are just taking. Everyone seems to be taking 2027 election very, very seriously, and probably are expecting a credible election. I don't get it, Barrister, because we are talking about El-Rufai. Well, not just El-Rufai this time around. The whole entire opposition machinery. I don't know what is happening.
That is the strategy. A trap has been set for them, and they are going into it headlong. They know, create the fiction that the opposition can come together and defeat the president. So they have fallen into that fiction, into that trap. It's a trap, but they are fallen into it, and they are busy. Now, all we hear here is that they are rallying around Atiku Abubakar. The whole opposition is rallying around Atiku Abubakar and the El-Rufai. Those are the people the coalition is rallying around.
So Peter Obi is not even in the play right now.
Atiku Abubakar and Peter Obi.
That's nonsense.
So that is what the coalition is all about now. But number one, they have to recognize that Atiku does not have the kind of overwhelming character or personality that Buhari had in 2015, where everybody trusted him, where everybody looked up to him, where everybody had confidence that he will do something. Atiku does not have that character, that integrity test. Secondly, the level of capability of the person they are opposing. In 2015, they faced a very weak Jonathan, who did not know his left from his right politically. They are facing a master who is very adept at manipulating the politics, even when he was not in power.
And who is fully in control and in charge of his own government, unlike Jonathan.
Now he is fully in power, fully in control. So the odds, if the odds were 50 back then against this thing, they are now 100. They are facing far greater distance. But of course, the man knows, allow them to create the fiction that you come together, you will overthrow him. But I think one of the issues that you remember they have sent to the National Assembly to allow him to borrow
we'll
money.
talk about that.
That is one of the masterstroke that he has, that is taking the whole coalition by surprise. And they are powerless to stop it. When we come to that, we will talk about that. They are powerless to stop it. With that kind of war chest, do they, everybody, because the Nigerian average politician is what he will get. They will gravitate to where they will get. It's as simple as that. The governors who control the state and how voting is done in the state, fairly or unfairly, they are with the president. The army, the police, the security agencies are under his control. So these people that are meeting, making a lot of noise that we are coalition, we will see how they will.
Honestly,
all together, if I am a Nigerian at my level, everything that is happening is a distraction. Because I know one way or another, it will not progress, it will not bring genuine progress to Nigeria, whichever way you look at it. Whether the opposition coalesce and take power or whether Tinubu continue. As long as the problem is with the system, It's not going to take us, it's not going to move us.
Honestly,
But that is my take. Either way, I'm an onlooker because I know that whichever way it turns, it's not going to help the country.
Honestly, it's so sad because I don't even know why. Honestly, it's annoying. Honestly, and it's shocking to me that these opposition leaders are taking this next election seriously. I'm telling you, honestly, what I expected of them is that is in the absence of a revolution, in the absence of military taking over. At least while we are waiting for that revolution to come, I expect the opposition to actually stand their ground against the system, especially INEC that did all these things. I expected them after the Supreme Court did all whatever, and INEC and the Mahmoud Jega still remain there or whatever. I expected the opposition, the entire opposition, to coalesce together and actually go against the system, protest against the system. But what do we have? They have forgotten what happened in 2023 anyway.
That is where you yourself got it wrong. Which opposition are you referring to? Are they better than the people in power? It's not the issue. Look, if you give the opposition today, you give them the power, are you expecting them to stop the theft of national resources, theft from the treasury, the things that happen in the National Assembly, the budget padding, all these fake constituency projects? Are you expecting those things to stop? Are you expecting the you don't, within the opposition, you and I do not expect anything credible from them, because it will just be the continuance of what we have been, the system of government that allows corruption to increase with each government. Everybody for himself. You are going there as a senator not to help the country, to line your pocket, to improve your personal finances and economic well-being for yourself and your family. You are going there as governor for the same thing. Everybody, where a minister is appointed, a whole party is thrown by his friends and relatives because they know the food has come to them. It's not about the national progress. So if we continue with that system, whether you bring new people there, it is not going to work. It's not going to help us. That is what I have been saying.
My problem is, okay, all of them are corrupt except Peter Obi. Now, why is Peter Obi? What do you think is the reason why Peter Obi is still playing along? Because he can.
That is why I criticize him. I said he should fight from the outside. He should not join the system. You cannot fight this system from within. And when you join the system, you have limitation. You cannot join the system, participate in an election, and they refuse to go to court when you lose and ask people to come out and attack. That will not work. You have joined, so you play by the rules. But I would have expected him to stay outside the system and rally the Nigerian people behind him. I would feel more confident. But he doesn't have the strength of character to do that. I think he's too much comfortable because there is a lot of travails that will follow somebody who wants to do that.
Correct. That's the point.
Even death will possibly await you. I don't think he has the strength of character to do that.
I totally. This is what we've been saying over the years, since after the 2023 election. That's the problem with Peter Obi. Peter Obi is weak. He doesn't have the courage actually to fight. That is just the reality. You've just said it all. That is the reason why he's playing along, because, like you said, consequences comes with such kind of disposition, where you are not really ready to co-opt yourself. You are not ready to mingle. You just want to be incorruptible, to fight and continue to fight on your own, alone, fight the system. Of course, just like you said, so many risks comes with it, and then the same lack of courage is the reason. The same weakness is the reason why he failed to actually actually lead us into real revolution, political revolution in 2023. It's the same thing he's still afraid of. That's why he's still hobnobbing with the corrupt people. And that is the problem. That will eventually kill his political career. The thing is that Peter Obi is, I don't know, he has a moral pedigree actually for leadership. He has the real administrative and moral pedigree for good leadership. There's no doubt about that. But he does not have the will, the courage to actually take leadership. Taking leadership is different from administering leadership. These are two different things. Obi has what it takes to administer. He has all the pedigree to administer good leadership, but he does not have what it takes to actually take leadership. And this is what I keep telling people. Leadership comes with a whole lot of courage. Taking leadership, especially in this our current world, you just can't assume leadership by people giving it to you. You have to learn to take it. You have to learn to fight. And even the West, that used to believe in people actually giving people handing power to them those days. Today they don't. Look at what happened in the US. What happened? Donald Trump had to take the leadership by force. Otherwise, if he hadn't fought, including with his own life, we wouldn't have had this with the Donald Trump we have today. The US would have been in a serious mess in all facets of life, of administration, of governance, honestly. But here we are, the US is getting liberated. And that is the problem we have with the same problem I have with Peter Obi. He's so weak that he doesn't have what it takes to take power. He will never. I said it, not because look, he's still the best so far. That is, if we are to judge with what we have on ground, the people in the field. He's the best. He's the only one that has proven himself to be. I still consider him as the best governor Nigeria has ever produced. I don't know. I'm yet to actually read or hear of a governor who actually conducted himself and his family as good as Peter Obi. I don't know, Barrister, you know whatever. You know when it comes to history, you know better than me. Or whatever. Is there anybody, no one, no governor? I consider him as the one that has performed the best so far.
Nobody comes close.
Not even close. So he has all it takes to actually govern and govern well. So there's no doubt about that. But the problem is that he failed because he failed in 2023 to do the right thing. And he missed that opportunity. And because of that, he will never. I'm not saying this to antagonize him. I'm just saying it as a pragmatist. I'm just being pragmatic here. That is just it. I'm not saying if he wins, that great. We'll prefer him. There's no doubt about. But because being a pragmatist that I am, Peter Obi will never. The closest he came to being the president of Nigeria was in 2023. He will never get that close anymore. He will never get that close. And that's the reality. Because he can't get that close because he doesn't have what it takes. Nigeria needs a fighter. We need a fighter. Peter Obi is not a fighter. Peter Obi is a chicken, as far as I'm concerned. And that chicken in him is what I just hate. I just hate that chicken in him. Honestly. And it has gotten to a point where whenever I see him talking and quoting data and statistics and criticizing government and saying that whatever, just nagging over things we have always known since we were born, since Nigeria was created. I feel irritated. I don't even like watching him anymore because I just feel disappointed at him because he has what it takes to do the right thing, but he does not have what it takes to actually get to start to do the right thing. That is the point. It's so sad. And unfortunately, opposition, nothing. Like I said, and we both of us agreed on that. 2027 will be a walkover for Tinubu, except something happens. I'm still believing God for military coup or revolution of any kind.
Another voice is joining the fray.
Who is that?
The former president of the African Development Bank. He too is angling to
Adeyemi Adeshina.
He wants to come and contest for the presidency. He's laying all the groundwork, but he will be the third force, so to speak. So let's see how.
He's not going anywhere, for God's sake. He's not going. He's
He
from
will
the
not
West.
go anywhere.
There is no, especially when he's from the West, he's not going anywhere. And besides, even if he's not from the West, Adeyemi, Adeshina or whatever, that guy is not politically. Is not. Who knows him? What is his antecedent? Who knows him?
He doesn't
have any record politically. Let him go to hell. Not go to hell, please. Let him go and sit down. Sorry. It's just these are just we just come and model the entire system again.